Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jason from The Big Lead and David from SB Nation doing the OddsShark Smackdown. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of smacking down going on here because we agree on a lot of the picks. Dave, maybe we should start with the one we disagree on, which is the Jets and the Steelers. Like an idiot, I'm backing the Jets, who, have been one of the league's worst teams this year. I think they maybe have a push against the spread against the Packers. I'll let you start out with why you like the Steelers, although given the last 3 weeks, I think it's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know you're a big Jets guy, so I wasn't shocked to hear that you've done that. I've been sucked into that with my 49ers. But when it comes to the Steelers, I mean, they're playing so well right now, particularly on offense. And the Jets seem to have a pretty solid run defense, but they are struggling against the pass, it seems. And I just think that the way Roethlisberger and that offense are performing right now, I don't see why they don't put up another 35 or 40 points.
Right, you're definitely right. I look at last week, and there were a lot of the sharps. What I'll do is I'll take a look at the top 10 or 20 guys and see their picks, and a lot of them love the Jets. And I'm thinking, what are they doing? Chiefs obviously held them off. It was close. But then you look at this week, the Jets go home. The Steelers' 3-game home, little run is over. They go on the road, and then they lose Polamalu and Shazier, 2 starters on the defense. So that started me thinking, okay, maybe the Jets are a play. And then I started to look at what I think is the big factor here is the post-rivalry hangover. I looked at the last 2 years, just a small sample size, but in the last 4 games after the Steelers played the Ravens, they lost. And I'm thinking, geez, you're going on the road, you lose 2 defensive starters. Roethlisberger can't continue this. Maybe the Jets are in play. And then, you start looking at some of the line movement, and it started at 5. I've seen some 4s today. I'm probably getting sucked into a stupid play here, and I'll regret it. I took your Niners last week, and gosh, that killed me. That was my only miss. But, I don't know. Do you think the Jets could make this happen? Is there any shot here?
No, you make a good point. I mean, obviously with the Ravens, with that post-rivalry hangover, and looking at the schedule, the Steelers play at the Jets, at the Titans, and then they have a bye. And that's just kind of a soft schedule that it's easy to get a little too comfortable. And it would not shock me if they went in there and the Jets, and the Jets did spring the upset, just because the Steelers have been inconsistent. They've played so great the last 3 weeks, but those first, 4 or 5 weeks, they look pretty bad. I mean, they lost to the Bucs. So clearly anybody can beat them.
At home, and I think it was right after the 66-14 loss. I wanted to talk about your Niners real quick. I took them last week. I regretted it, but I'm on them fairly confidently this week. I don't know if you've seen the public split, but it looks to be one of those 85-15s. The line last week on this game was 1.5. It's now 5. I feel like that's just too many points to give a Harbaugh team coming off a loss.
Yeah, well, they've never lost 3 in a row under Harbaugh. They've lost 2 straight now. Of course, prior to last week, they had never lost a home divisional game under Harbaugh, so take that however you want. But I don't know. The problem I have, and the reason that I'm staying completely away from this is Patrick Willis is probably not going to play. Dan Skuta, who has been playing in place of Aldon Smith with Aaron Lynch behind him, he's probably not going to play. Tremaine Brock's a big question mark with the toe. And after seeing what Denver did to them a couple weeks ago with that passing offense, if Jimmy Graham, who's 6'4", goes up against the 5'11" Chris Borland, or 6'7", 6'7", he might occasionally get matched up against 5'11" Chris Borland.
Borland's playing well though.
But he is great against the run. He's a dynamic tackler, but he's not a cover guy.
So now maybe you're talking me out of the Niners here. Geez. Let's go on just quick 2 more. Denver 11.5. We both like the Broncos. Lines moved down to 11. Raiders have covered against the Patriots and Seahawks on the road. Are we lunatics for taking the Broncos here?
Obviously, you don't want to go with, well, I think they're due for this, I do for that. But the Broncos are clearly the better team. The Raiders, they covered 2 of the last 3, but then obviously they did not cover at home against the Cleveland Browns. And at this point, I'm just not comfortable taking them. I think the Broncos are one of those teams where you take them pretty much every time, I think, just because they have that ability to put up huge points really quickly.
Right. My thought is Raiders were down 24-3 last week at the half. I mean, that game was a blowout. And then the Seattle special teams blew up in their face, and the Oakland climbed back in it. I don't think that game was very close for over a half. Seattle should have run away with that one. And then you look at the Broncos; they can't play that poorly again. You just don't envision a Peyton Manning team like that not showing up again. Feels like a 45-20 game. The last game I wanted to touch on: Buffalo going against one of the hottest teams in the league, KC. Chiefs are steamrolling people right now. They go into Buffalo 2-point favorites against a team. No Fred Jackson, though he practiced this week. C.J. Spiller's definitely out, and Sammy Watkins is now hurt, may not play. We're going to Kyle Orton only getting 2 points at home against one of the hottest teams in the league. Why do we like Buffalo?
The Chiefs are playing well lately, but they're just not – I don't think they're nearly as good as their record indicates. I think that they've got Jamal Charles, occasionally Travis Kelce, but other than that, they really don't have the kind of offensive weapons to consistently put up enough points. And Kyle Orton is not the kind of guy that I always want to be wagering on, but I don't know. I think Kansas City, again, I think Kansas City is just not nearly at the level that you would think they are.
My final point on this game that scares me: Chiefs destroyed the Patriots. Chiefs destroyed Miami on the road. Chiefs just beat the Jets 3-0 against the AFC East. And now Buffalo comes in a little dinged up offensively. I have my reservations. I think it's a hold your nose and go with Buffalo kind of deal.
Yeah, no, I'm not going in. I'm probably the least confident about this one compared to any game.
Well, hopefully one of us can peel off a 5-0 in the OddsShark run here and challenge Todd Furman and maybe take the lead. He's been out in front since that 14-1 start.
Yeah, we're right there. We're only 2 back. Considering he started 14-1 and I started, with 3 weeks of 2-3, I will take it.
Yeah, we're coming, Furman.